Dubai, June 2026. It's 40 degrees outside and I'm walking to the metro station, though I drive. Why? Because in this video, I'm gonna debunk the biggest real estate myth that future metro proximity will grow your rental value and property prices. The biggest lie sold to you with ease, and I bet you believe it.
Doors closing.
Let me start with a global argument, because agents always say, look at London, look at New York, look at Singapore. Metro works there. Does it? Or does real estate just go up in these cities because there is no land left to build on? London prices appreciate because you cannot build more London. Metro is there, yes, but so is everything else. And here is the test. The Bronx, New York. Some of the most developed subway lines in the entire city. The 4th train, the B and the D lines. One of the poorest areas in the United States. Metro did not save it. Saint-Denis and Vitry-sur-Seine outside Paris, connected to the Réseau Express Regional and the Metro, among the most deprived areas in France. Metro is there, value is not. Because Metro does not create jobs, schools, safety or economic activity. It just moves people. Metro is convenience. It's not a value engine. And the research proves it. Xi'an in China. Experts proven studies. Properties immediately adjacent to metro stations had the lowest price uplift of any distance band because noise, traffic and congestion outweighed the convenience. The closer you were, the worse it got. Next example, Thessaloniki, Greece. Under construction metro, residential values near the stations dropped up to 15% while the line was being built. Prices fell because of a metro that did not even exist yet. Shiraz, Iran. Hedonic price model, real transaction data. Result, metro proximity has a statistically insignificant effect on apartment prices. 0. Istanbul, Turkey, whereas the metro pitch is louder than anywhere else right now. Developers are selling foreign investors on metro proximity as the #1 growth argument. And yes, Kayıthane went up to 80 to 120% after the MC line opened. Except Turkey had 60 to 80% annual inflation at the same time. Everything went up 80 to 120% in lira. In real terms, only 5 to 15%. Metro happened to be there. Inflation did the work. Ottawa, Canada. A study on the U train specifically concluded, and I'm quoting directly, that the relationship between urban train stations and housing prices is far more complex than is commonly believed. Some neighborhoods showed negative price dynamics after the line opened. Phoenix, Arizona, a desert city, car-dependent, low walkability. Sound familiar, right? We can relate this to Dubai. Research on Phoenix Light Rail found a negative effect on single-family homes values near stations. The study also found the park and ride facilities where people drive to the station significantly reduced whatever benefit existed. Because the moment you need a car to reach the metro, the logic of transit proximity collapses. Academics studying car-dependent cities explicitly note that transit impact on property values is lower than in walkable cities, precisely because in walkable cities everyone uses transit, and in car cities almost nobody does. And yet developers and the brokers who follow them use metro as the easiest marketing pitch in the book.
This is one of the most significant buying signals that the market has produced in years.
Metro equals appreciation, metro equals rental demand. Real market behavior is far more complex than one infrastructure line. And that complexity is exactly what they are hoping you will not look at. Now let me show you something that nobody in the industry talks about, because it dismantles the entire argument. An academic study on transit-oriented development states directly, causative relationship is often reversed. Transit is actually a consequence, not an initial cause of value. Metro gets built where density and demand already exist, not the other way around. Look at central Paris, expensive neighborhood since the 1850s. The Paris Metro opened in 1900s. It was built to connect places that already mattered. Those neighborhoods were expensive before the metro, and they remained expensive after, not because of the metro, but because of the historical center, the architecture, the culture, the density that existed for decades before a single line was dug. So the metro followed the value. It did not create it. And even in cities where transit theoretically should drive prices, a 2024 Science Direct study on the Q Line extension in Manhattan, one of the most expensive real estate markets on earth, found that proximity to new subway station did not uniformly translate into increased housing prices. The researchers introduced a term for this: inverse premiumization. The expected appreciation simply did not materialize, even in New York, even in Manhattan. Now let's go back to Dubai.
Doors closing.
Because you do not need academic papers for this one. Take Dubai Marina, one of the most valuable residential communities in the city. Waterfront lifestyle, sea access, the walk, JBR next door, strong rental demand, consistent transaction volume, real liquidity. Does Dubai Marina have metro? Yes. Does it have a tram? Yes, it opened in 2014. There is the question nobody asked though. Why was the tram built there? It was not built to create value. The value was already there. The marina became so dense, so popular, so overloaded with residents, tourists, cars, that traffic became a serious problem. The tram was built as a response to success. Infrastructure following demand, not leading it. Reverse causation, right there in Dubai. And the construction of tram made traffic worse for years. The infrastructure that was supposed to improve the area actively degraded quality of life during the build and after. Now open to Bissell, filtered by the streets closest to the red line stations in Marina. Look at what comes up. Room sharing, partition deals, female only, flexible payments. These are the buildings closest to the metro. The market has already told you everything you need to know about what metro proximity attracts in Dubai. Not the DFC lawyer, not the expat paying $120,000 a year, the tenant who has no other option. And there is one more factor that makes all of this even more specific to Dubai. In London and Tokyo, you walk to the station. This is the entire point. Last mile walkability is what makes transit proximity valuable. In Dubai, for 8 months of the year, walking 10 to 15 minutes in open air is not a realistic option. Not in a suit, not with a child, not at 42 degrees at 9 in the morning. So even residents who live close to a station still get in the car and drive to the metro. The metro stops being a door-to-door solution and becomes one more transfer point in a journey that was easier by car to begin with. Now add the scale problem. In cities where metro works, you have networks. London has 12 lines, Tokyo has 13. You can get from anywhere to pretty much anywhere. Dubai has 2 lines. The Gold Line, approved in April 2026, targets completion in 2032. But look at how this line touches communities like Dubai Hills or JVC. One station on the perimeter, next to the mall most probably. Dubai Hills is 2,700 acres, tens of thousands of units. One station at the edge. Your tenant in the middle of the community is still getting in their car or taxi just to drive to the station. It's not metro connectivity. It's a metro adjacent mall entrance. And developers know all of this, which is why what happens next is so interesting. The Gold Line was announced, 6 years to completion. Within weeks, developers along the corridor raised prices. The premium is already in the asking price today. You're paying 2032 money in 2026. For infrastructure that may or may not deliver on schedule. The Blue Line was first discussed in 2012 and still does not exist. And for a tenant profile that, even when it arrives, will not be the tenant your investment needs. This is the pump. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Except the news in this case is a construction project that will take a decade. Why this narrative exists? Follow the money. Developers with the land along the Gold Line need a story. Metro gives them one. Brokers need a positive angle. Metro gives them one. Media that depends on developer advertising covers it as a good news. Nobody's lying to you. They're just telling you the part of the story that serves their commissions. The manipulation is not in what they say, it's in what they live out.
I'm sweating like a horse. I got back in my car, guys. This is unbelievable. And the funny thing, I see people taking a taxi going out of the metro.
So back in the car, AC on, the way every single person who can afford to pay good rent in the city moves around. So next time an agent mentions metro as a growth argument, ask them to show you 5 years of DLD transactions next to existing stations. Ask them the average tenant profile in those buildings. Ask them the yield. The data exists. Most people just never ask for it. And if you want someone who will actually run those numbers for you on a specific deal, let's talk. Link is in the description box under the video. And if you're looking for a good opportunities to buy right now, check out my website belowmarketdeals.ae. See you in the next video.